Hey guys, I've been wanting to make this video for the longest time. I wanted to talk about confidence and building character and all of those things because here's the thing. To gain confidence, really, and I've made a few videos talking about this, you have to go through things in life, okay? You have to have shit happen to you. And I know what you're thinking. You haven't gone through shit. But I admit it, I haven't gone through shit, okay? Like, the toughest things that you can go through in life, I don't think I've gone through them. And listen, I've been severely depressed. I've had crippling anxiety before, but I still don't think I've gone through like the hardest shit in life because like I know that there's a lot of people out there who are going through way worse problems than I am going through. Like I live in a first world country. I am privileged. I have health. I have my family. I have it all. Okay? I have it all. And peace of mind. I don't really have anyone who's toxic in my life right now, so I'm grateful for that. But the thing is like you going through things in life, sometimes you deal with toxic people, sometimes you deal with situations, sometimes you deal with the hard things that you have to do, and that is what builds confidence. There's a hair here. Okay, that is what builds confidence because like I've seen, like, for instance, like I was thinking the other day about this, like, because I consider myself a rather shy person, especially depending on the situation. Like if I'm new at a job, I'm gonna be shy, or like I don't know, if I'm in a place where like I've never really been before and it's like a new thing to me, especially in those moments, I'm shy. You know what I mean? Or when I'm talking to someone I've never talked to before, you know what I mean? Things like that. But why am I so thirsty all the time? I think it's the lip gloss. Or maybe I just apply too much. I don't know. Am I swallowing the lip gloss? I don't freaking know. But anyway, what was I gonna say? So yeah, and in my internship, there was I was the only intern, but then there was another intern. Like the last few days I was there, and I'm out of the internship. Like I'm done already, but like he's still in that internship, and he's finishing maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks. I don't know, and he was way shyer than I was. And one day I asked him, "Is it your first internship?" Because like I was a scaredy little cat the first day, and I was like, he was even more scared than I was. Like he talked even less, he smiled even less, he was not really making eye contact. Like it was kind of awkward. And he was like, "No, no, no, I've done another internship before." And I was like, "You know what I mean?" Like he was shyer than I was in the internship. Like I got no proof, but I got no doubts. Like I was like, "No, I didn't act like that." You know what I mean? And um and part of, listen, shyness has nothing to do with confidence because like you can be a shy person and you can be confident in your ability and being good at doing this and that. You know what I mean? In your worth as a person. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with that. But presenting with confidence, like having this like confidence, like I can do this, and like talking to someone, like it has something to do with confidence. You know what I mean? Like shyness has to be somewhat related to confidence. You know what I mean? Like I think I've like gaining all this confidence that I've gotten in life, I think it's also given me like more extroversion. You know what I mean? I like meeting people, okay? But like I think the confidence that I have in myself and who I am as a person, I think that's what has made me more confident, if that makes sense. Like in front of other people, to talk to other people is like, okay, I know my worth. Like maybe this is my boss, but we all have skills. We all have different skills. We all have different abilities. You know what I mean? Just because this person is my boss, or just because this person has the upper hand, or because this person is a professor, or because this person is this or that, does not mean they're better than me. You know what I mean? They have these characteristics. Maybe they are better than me at this and that, but I can be better at this and that. And it's not about who's better than who, but you know what I mean? Like you have to be sure of who you are. Do you know what I mean? And what was I gonna say? And I was like, I don't think this guy has gone through like a lot of things. You know what I mean? Because like he didn't go to college. He went to a similar thing. It's something like I don't know if it exists in other countries, but like it's it's like training to like be a professional, if that makes sense. Like it's like they train you to be a professional. They teach you stuff, but it's less theoretical than college. You know what I mean? Yeah, like you study for 3 years and like you get ready to get this like title, I guess, or this qualification, but it's not college. Like it's not academic. I don't know how to explain that. And so it's comparable, as I've heard, and he said it himself, to high school. You know what I mean? And I would say the college is way harder than high school because like you have to study more, you have to study for finals, you have to study for midterms, like you have to study the whole subject for like this one exam. You know what I mean? Like it's tougher. You know what I mean? Like they fuck you over more. And I was like, I don't think this guy has gone through, a lot of things. You know what I mean? He said that he lasted in college like a week. Like he went there for a week and he was like, no, this is not for me. And so I was like, well, I went through college. I had a really hard time, like especially this professor I had in the first year. Like everybody would fail his subject. Actually, a lot of people failed. We were only like out of my class, like the bachelor's, like my bachelor's out of my major, like we were 45 people. Only 5 of us passed. And I'm not saying like, oh, it was easy, it's because I'm smart. No, I worked my ass off. I had crippling anxiety, especially the first year of college. Well, the first 3 years I had crippling anxiety, but especially the first year, especially that first semester. And I was so nervous all the time. I lost all of my confidence because I was like, how is it possible that I'm studying and I'm not really getting it? You know what I mean? How am I not passing exams? And then I was like, there's only one way to do this. We have to study our asses off. And I gave up my hobbies. I gave up sleep. I gave up, you know what I mean, making content. Like I gave up everything. I was like, I'm gonna spend all of my time if that's what I need to do to pass the subject. Because like if I don't pass right now, how do I know I'm gonna pass later? You know what I mean? I don't want to fail. You know what I mean? It's not the end of the world, but I do not want to go through this subject again. It was hell. And sometimes I can feel a little bit resentful towards that teacher because I'm like, why did he have to be like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, why did he have to be so hard on us? Why did he have to make it everything so confusing? Why did everybody or almost everybody have to fail? Like, it doesn't mean we're learning more or anything. It doesn't mean he's a better professor. Like, what is the point of this? And it was really, really hard to build my confidence back. Like the following semester, I was like, I can't do shit. I'm so stupid. I'm so dumb. I can't even do a basic math equation. Like I can't fucking do it. You know what I mean? I was so insecure, you know what I mean, in my ability. I lost all of my confidence, but then I had to build it again. So the following semesters I had crippling anxiety as well, but I had to rebuild it. I kept studying, I kept passing my subjects, whatever. I ended up being the valedictorian of my degree, of my bachelor's. And that was kind of like the pinnacle of like, I can do this shit. You know what I mean? Like I slowly proved to myself I can do this shit. You know what I mean? So like even though I went through things that were like terrible, like it was, you know what I mean? It builds character for me. You know what I mean? Like I know what I'm capable of. I know that I'm smart and I know that I can work under pressure and I know that I will, let's say, save the day for myself at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I know that I can solve problems. You know what I mean? Because that's what I've been doing these past 5 years. And what was I gonna say? And then I had depression when I was 16, which is like, I don't know exactly how I got over it. Like I wish I had kind of like the manual to get over it because it's so hard. But it did build character in the sense that like sometimes I go back in time and I think, well, there was a point where I was severely depressed and I'm here. Like I'm still here and I got through it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I don't know how I did it, but it happened. You know what I mean? Like if I went through that, and being depressed is not for the weak. You know what I mean? Like you feel like shit all of the time. The sky is gray. You have zero energy. It's hell. It's hell on earth. And reminding myself of the fact that I went through that like makes me like believe more in myself. It's like, you know what? I went through that and I got through it. I got through it because there's so many people who haven't gone through it. You know what I mean? Who have not survived that, literally. And I know people in real life who haven't survived that. So I'm like, well, I'm lucky to be here, and I got here, and I am here, and I got through that. You know what I mean? Like I haven't gone through like I said, the hardest things in life, but like I've gone through things. And crippling anxiety is also not for the weak. Like you are on edge all the freaking time. And you have to work under that pressure. You can't just be sitting there like just being paranoid or not paralyzed. I'm sorry, paranoid. Well, both probably. Do you know what I mean? Like you have to take action. That's the hardest part. And I also learned English on my own. It's not my first language, and I learned most of it on my own. I didn't really have to study like school for that. I didn't have to like study grammar. Like I would just watch YouTubers and stuff and kind of just figure it out. It was hard. I'm not gonna say it was like super easy. Like I didn't like study, but it took me years, obviously, to get to the level that I'm at right now. And like even these past few years, like even though I was already like fluent and all that stuff, like I spoke the same way that I speak right now, but like it still takes a while to polish it. Like maybe pronunciation or like certain like expressions that make the way you speak a little bit more polished, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that it makes, you know what I mean? It makes others be like, I mean, it doesn't have to do with others, but like what I'm saying is that like it shows that you know what I mean, that you have a full command, you know what I mean, when you can use like expressions and you're fluent with that, you know what I mean, like it still takes a while to polish it. And I discovered that when I was in college. I was like, oh my god, there's so many expressions and words that I never used, that I never knew, and like they're so common. And do you know what I mean? And knowing that I did that, knowing that there was a time where I didn't speak English at all, I'm like, whoa, I did that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to put yourself to do things. You have to show up for yourself and be like, I need to learn this skill. I'm going to learn this skill. I need to do this thing. I have to do it. I need to study for this exam. Well, I'm going to study for this exam. I need to, I don't know, I need to get up from my bed every single day and do what I have to do, even though I'm depressed. It's really freaking hard, but you have to do it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to show up for yourself, even in during dark times. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to, yeah, you have to prove things to yourself. You know what I mean? And you have to go through these things that were terrible. Like, for instance, like this professor that I had, like, it was not my fault that he was so mean and he was so like that. You know what I mean? But like going through that, I had to go through that to build character. You know what I mean? I don't think I would have nearly as much character as I have right now. I don't think I would be as assertive as I am right now, as confident in what I'm saying as I am right now. I don't think I would be making this channel at all, giving advice to people and like confidence and shit like that. Do you know what I mean? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna stop the video. Sorry, my parents just arrived and there was a siren going on. I don't know. It's kind of messy, but anyway. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I had to go through these things to really prove to myself, like, hey, you know what? I learned a full blown language on my own, and I, do you know what I mean? And I went through this thing, and then this professor. I had this professor, and I passed, and I worked my ass off, and it was not easy, but I still went through it, and it was really, it made me really anxious and it made me really insecure, whatever, but like I rebuilt that confidence, and it took me a while, because it's really easy to, let's say, break a glass or whatever, or break a jar or whatever, and then how do you make it go back to how it was? It's impossible. If it breaks into, I don't know how many pieces, I don't know if I'm using the expression correctly, but like, do you know what I mean? It's impossible. You know what I mean? It's really easy to break something, and then building it back again, it's really freaking tough. Getting depressed, super easy. Getting over that depression, hard. You know what I mean? Losing confidence, super easy. Getting it back, so fucking hard. It's gonna take you probably years, probably months. I don't know. Who knows? Depending on what happens. Am I gonna be confident always? No. There's probably gonna be a time in my life where I'm like, I don't know how to do this thing. I think I'm so bad at it. Everybody's so much better than me at it. Like, this is so freaking tough and I can't seem to do it. It can happen. Something can happen that can make me lose, or maybe I can make a mistake that can have like repercussions for me or other people. Who knows? Like, God forbid. I don't want that to happen, but like that can happen, and it can, you know, crush my confidence again, and then I have to build it again. Do you know what I mean? I think it's like happiness. You know what I mean? Like, it's life. It's not about like being happy all the time. Like, sometimes you're gonna go through things. Sometimes things are gonna happen, or people are gonna do things to you, or you're gonna feel a certain type of way, or you're gonna hate yourself for doing this, for that, or not doing this or that. You know what I mean? Like, it's about like, okay, you're happy, and then when you're not happy, how do I get happy again? You know what I mean? It's about finding happiness every time. Well, confidence is the same thing. It's about getting confident again. You know what I mean? Falling down, getting back up. Like, how do I get confident again? You know what I mean? And it builds character. You know what I mean? You have to go through things to build character and to be more sure of who you are as a person. You know what I mean? If you stay in your comfort zone your whole life, of course you're not going to be confident, because what have you done? What have you been through? Do you know what I mean? You have to get out of your comfort zone. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, this was today's video. I hope it helped someone out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.